Michael here from That Family Show. As you heard on Friday, my family took a recent trip down to Concord, North Carolina to stay a night at the Great Wolf Lodge. I'm going to give you my thoughts on the Great Wolf, what makes it such a great place to stay, and a few tips, and also a few things to consider if you're going down with the family. But first, check out some of these sites. Hey, we're back. As you can see, my family had a wonderful time staying at the Great Wolf. I believe this was our fourth time staying over the last 4 or 5 years. We usually try to go down there maybe once a year. Our kids absolutely love it. It's a great way just to kind of get away. It's not too far from us. We can take a nice little overnight trip, and you know, especially in the dead of winter when the kids are itching to get out and do some water park fun. And all the water parks, obviously, outside are closed. So I wanted to give you a few tips and tricks to Great Wolf and some things to consider if you go down with your family to one. First of all, check in and check out. Now, most of the time, check out is around 11 a.m. Check in is 4 p.m. But the great thing about Great Wolf Lodge is the day you check in and the day you check out, you can get there as early as you want, and they'll go ahead and let you start swimming. Now, they'll go ahead and give you some temporary wristbands so you can go on out into the water park. So you actually get 2 full days in the water park. You don't have to wait until you check in, and you don't have to leave as soon as you check out. They have lockers that you're able to rent if you would like to do that. Or you can just take the stuff out to your car, leave it in your car, and kind of come back and forth between the pool and your vehicle. Second thing you want to think about is what type of room you need. Obviously, they have your basic room, which normally has 2 queen-size beds with a sofa and 1 bathroom. They also have some themed rooms. They have these little rooms set up, kind of a room inside of a room with lodges, and there's bunk beds, and they call them kids' cabins and things like that. It's a lot of fun for kids to stay, but it's also a lot more money. So unless you're planning on spending a lot of time in your room, I don't know if it's really worth it. So that's something you can consider for your family. For us, we spend a lot of time at the water park, and we just basically sleep in the room, and that's it. So splurging on one of the upgraded rooms that's a little bit fancier or has a little bit more of a theme to it really doesn't matter to us, so we're able to budget a little bit less for our stay. Let's talk about the water park itself. When you go in, you'll be overwhelmed by not just the amount of people, but the amount of water and activities that's going on. It's definitely sensory overload. But they have pools and they have rides and water for all ages. They have a wonderful kiddie park with water that goes maybe 1.5 feet deep, lots of slides, lots of water activities within that area. You'll see a lot of parents just kind of sitting around the edges and letting the kids get in there and play. It's fenced in, so no chance of your little guy or girl running off into another part of the park. They're really contained really well in there. There is a wave pool, and that's one of the more popular places you're going to find people. There's lots of activity going on there. They'll run the waves continuously for quite a bit, and then they kind of have a stoppage where it's just more of a waiting pool, and then they'll get the waves up and going again. They also have another pool area where they have basketball goals set up and balls free to use, and you'll see a lot of kids, especially boys and dads, out there playing basketball, taking shots, and just having a good time there. And then at the opposite end of the pool with the basketball goals, they also have a little bit of an obstacle course where there's some of those large floating plastic logs, and the kids are encouraged to kind of run across them or jump across them from one log to the next and see if they can make it across the pool. But don't worry, they also have a nice netting right over top so kids can hang on to that if they need to as they're running across. Have I mentioned the water slides?
Great Wolf has incredible water slides.
The great thing about the Great Wolf is you don't have to walk from one end of the park to the other in order to ride the slides. They have them all contained in one area. So as you go up the steps, depending on which steps you go up or which exit you go off of the steps, there's 4 different slides that you can choose. Some of these slides are just for one person. Some of them you have a choice between 1 or 2, and some will hold as many as 5 or 6 people. Now those are a lot of fun. For a family of 5, we rode that one quite a bit. You're in a large inner tube. Man, it's a blast. The height requirements you can find out all about on the Great Wolf website to make sure your little one is able to ride some of the things that maybe they have their heart set on. We always visit the Great Wolf in the dead of winter because, let's face it, what else is there to do? But if you choose to go during the summertime, they also have an entire water park outside. So they have all kinds of things. They have another pool out there, some other activities that go on outside. They also have a high ropes course that you may want to take part in. And also, at least for the one in Concord, they have a putt-putt course. So they have lots to do outside, not just inside. Now, a couple of things to keep in mind as far as tips. You've already heard me mention about check-in and check-out. They also have someone standing guard at the door as you're coming in to make sure that they're measuring all the kids and make sure the kid gets a proper armband to tell them what slides they're able to go down and what they aren't. They're also checking bags. Now they say no outside food or drink. They don't really check it that well, so you might be able to slip in a couple bottles of water or a couple candy bars or something. But even if you don't, if you choose to get food there, they have a wonderful food court set up inside the water park itself, so you don't even have to leave. You don't have to go back out in the hall or anything else. So you can check out all the food. They have pizza and pretzels and burgers and drinks and all that right there, and plenty of tables to eat on right there in the park itself. Now maybe you're staying for more than one night and you'd like to take advantage of something else other than the water. Well, they have a lot going on at the Great Wolf. They have a very large arcade with, probably 50 or 60, maybe even 100 video games. They do all kinds of activities throughout the day where they bring in their mascots and they come out and they have story time and they have scavenger hunts. They have always something going on at the Great Wolf Lodge. So it isn't just about sleeping in your room, heading downstairs, and then going out into the water park. Lots of things to do all over the building. So make sure you choose what's best for you and your family. Great Wolf does a wonderful job getting out some very special deals throughout the year. This past January, when my family went, we were able to get our room 50% off because we were willing to go when, let's face it, it was a non-peak time. So if your schedule is flexible, if your time to go is a little bit flexible, you can really make this an affordable trip. But make sure that you're always checking the website, sign up for free for their newsletter. They're always sending out specials on that. Some of them are unposted with special codes you can put in, and even check with your corporation or business that you work with. I know that our bank and where my wife works, her company, they both have special codes that get us quite a bit off each and every time we stay there. So make sure you look for the special code that's right just for you. Overall, my family really enjoys the Great Wolf Lodge. Everyone who works there is super friendly. The pool area, the actual hotel itself, the lodge is very clean. We have never had any issues with any of the staff or cleanliness at all at the Great Wolf. We always have a great time being there. Now that being said, one night for us is about all we can take. By 3 or 4 o'clock the next day, our kids are ready to go home because they are worn out. So unless you really have your heart set on staying 2 or 3 nights, you might find it by the end to be a little bit tiresome, and so consider that when you're planning a trip to the Great Wolf. That about does it for That Family Show's review of the Great Wolf Lodge. Be sure to check it out. Go to greatwolflodge.com. Find out all about their specials, find out all about their rooms, and all the excitement at a Great Wolf Lodge near you. But for that family show, we give it a big thumbs up for family fun, activity, and just something great to do with the kids.